All right, back here with you with some more storms that are showing tornado potential here, moving towards northwest Arkansas as well as the greater Fort Smith area. We've got them lined up essentially up and down the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line. I'm going to show you radar, and then we're going to do a little analysis into this. There has been a tornado, at least on the ground, at least briefly, out towards Gore, Oklahoma. I saw that debris signature. I've also seen some other debris signatures pop up out towards McAllister and another one in northeast Oklahoma. So I'll look at those and kind of give you a feel for what's headed our way. But you can see these showers and storms really all up and down. Let me give you another view here. There's analysts. That's what I've been looking at. You can see them lined up north and south across much of northwest Arkansas, back down to the southwest, eastern Oklahoma, getting these showers and storms too. And then more storms are expected with this as we go into the evening. I do think we get more tornado warnings in Benton County as well as Washington and probably even the Fort Smith area in Sebastian County with that cell that's out around McAllister. The whole area pretty much under the gun. So as it stands now, let's look here. One moment here. Right. So it looks like hang on a second. Yeah, sure enough, they did. All right, so we just now got a new tornado warning. Boy, timed that one just right. This new tornado warnings for Washington County. This one just came out just as I was getting on the live stream here. It includes Western Washington County. It's with the tornado warn cell that did touch down briefly um, out there towards Gore and Tenkiller earlier. So we got a couple different things to watch. So why don't we go with the tornadoes first? Let's talk about where the tornadoes are occurring, and then we're going to get into it a little bit more in depth. So the first thing I want to do is zoom out and animate this, right? This is the big line of storms. This is the big line of storms that's moving in. You have storms that are threatening the Fort Smith area to the west, and you have additional storms that are moving into Washington as well as Benton County. There's a brand new, there it goes, a new severe thunderstorm warning. This one just got issued. This one for Benton and Washington County. The Weather Service calling for destructive winds on the storm here near Jay. So let's look at the tornado warned storms first. Boy, these things are nasty. We got two. Wow. Okay, so let's just isolate all this. There's several pockets of rotation on here. You can see the triangles. I see one, two, three that could be producing tornadoes here west, southwest of Prairie Grove. We look at the debris inside the storm. I do see one on the ground. This tornado is on the ground west of Cherry Tree. This is a tornado debris signature. So this is the tornado on the ground west of Cherry Tree moving towards Stillwell. That is a confirmed tornado here. If we move back down to the south, out towards Wilburton, looks like another, yeah, sure enough. Looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning. This one just got issued for Fort Smith as well as Cedarville and Greenwood. So new severe thunderstorm warning. Boy, these things are all lighting up now. So we have severe thunderstorm warnings up and down the I-49 corridor now. All of I-49 from Rogers and Bella Vista down through Greenwood are all under severe thunderstorm warnings right now. A tornado warning is in effect for northwest Washington County, really the western side of the county, as well as LaFleur County. Now, the storm down here west of Podo, the center rotation is right there. It's west of McCurtain. Let's see if this guy's on the ground. Doesn't look like it right now. It was earlier. This one is on the ground right here, and I can tell by the debris signature on this. See it right here? Track that little blue color right here as it moves northeast. That's tornado debris. It's come down a touch. But that's why they issued that tornado warning. So that includes portions of Washington County, doesn't include Benton County. Now, the little red thing you see here on the side of the yellow, that is the Weather Service enhanced this warning, calling for destructive winds up to 80 miles per hour on that storm that's coming into the west side of Benton County. So this thing is really a big wind machine here that's about to tear into Siloam Springs, on the north side of Siloam Springs, and eventually get into Bella Vista. Farther south, though, it's this tornado that we're most concerned with, and that's why we have all these warnings that are in effect here. As far as the radar goes, man, these things are just lined up, huh? It's hard to make heads and tails out of it. Let's get a wide view. This might make it a little bit easier to see. So this is the line of storms. The storms are spinning. There's numerous tornado warnings. I'm looking at least five of them right now in eastern Oklahoma, including the one that just moved across, is moving into Washington County. Strongest one I feel like is the one that's threatening Fort Smith. That's probably about another 45 minutes to an hour away. Let's look at this a little bit closer here. You can see how these storms are tracking. One second here. All right, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and get in on these storms a little bit more and start north to south and just kind of isolate what's happening. So we have the severe thunderstorm warning here that's in effect for Benton County. Strongest cell here is west of Gravette near 102 and 59. That cell is likely producing very gusty winds, with wind damage being the primary threat out towards Gravette. That's a live look in Gravette right now. This storm's moving in from that's looking south, so it's going to be moving in from the right side of the screen, should be moving in there shortly. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to go back to this radar source and pull out a little more and then look south. Now we get into these tornado warned storms. So we have some stuff ongoing in Eureka Springs, no big deal. This is the big deal. All these red polygons indicate tornado warnings here from Stillwell and Tahlequah to the northeast. Now I know it just looks like a big blob of red on here. So what I'm going to take this to is velocity. This will isolate the wind speeds in the storm. And we can tell right away that the strongest one is the one near Stillwell. So Stillwell and Blanche is the area that's spinning the highest here, and that's tracking northeast. So I want you to follow this area of spin. The spin is right here. Follow this as I loop this through time, and you'll be able to see this come in from the bottom left of the screen and then move towards Stillwell. See it spinning? There it is. So that's a tight area of rotation. I do think this one has been on the ground at times, and I do think it has that tornado potential that will continue here. There's also an area of rotation to the north, so you've really got a couple. You have this one here, and then you have the tighter couplet here. Those two are the ones to watch. The Stillwell one right here is probably the stronger one. The one to the north isn't that strong as of right now, but both of those are tornado warned. So this storm is going to be moving to the what did the Weather Service have this at? They've got it moving to the northeast at about 40 miles an hour. We can do some quick extrapolation on this to get an idea of when this is going to be affecting us here. So if we move it to the northeast up towards Prairie Grove at 45, that's going to put this sucker out there towards um, Cane Hill in about 23 minutes. It's a pretty quick moving storm. Morrow in about 18 minutes. So within the next 20 to 30 minutes, this thing is going to be threatening Pea Ridge, sorry, not Pea Ridge, Prairie Grove, and then potentially Fayetteville within 45 minutes. Again, assuming it holds together, assuming it doesn't cycle. If it starts cycling and doing stuff like that, then it hopefully would fall apart. But that's this cell. I'm going to zoom out more and try to do a longer storm track on this. Um, let's see if we can get a feel for when this gets farther north and northeast. That's the storm near Stillwell. And again, northeast at 45 is going to put this thing, let's see here, West Fork in 39 minutes, Farmington in 39 minutes, Fayetteville in 46. So yeah, 30 to 45 minutes, and we're going to be dealing with this storm that's going to be making its way through Washington County, which tells me they probably will issue another warning on this, probably another tornado warning. That tornado warning probably will include the Fayetteville area. So an early heads up on this, guys, that we could be dealing with a tornado in Washington County in about 30 to 45 minutes. For Fayetteville, possibly even for Springdale. Now back to the south, we've got this little gnarly guy here. And this thing is still spinning too. And this one is tracking to the northeast. Let's see what they've got on this. They've got the Weather Service has this one tracking northeast a little faster at about 50. So if we do a storm track on this storm, let's line it up out to the west and track this guy, the center of the rotation here to the northeast. And let's go ahead and call this one 50 miles an hour. That's pretty quick. That's going to put this storm close to Fort Coffee at 36 minutes, Muldrow in about 40 minutes, and Roland in about 45 minutes, West Fort Smith in about 48 minutes. Guys, it's possible that in 45 minutes we could have tornado warnings for both Fayetteville and for Fort Smith. So keep that in mind. I don't see anything that's really going to slow these things down. They're in a very unstable atmosphere, unstable environment, and these things have been cranking. These had a history too of producing tornadoes. So let's see if these are on the ground. And the way we'll do that is we'll go back to analyst and we'll look inside the storm here. Here's a wide view first, okay? So this is a wide view of the storm. Benton County is under a severe thunderstorm warning. Western Washington County is under a tornado warning. The tornado is near Stillwell. Isolating just the tornado here. Let's look for debris. Guys, I think it's on the ground. I think it's on the ground here, northwest of Stillwell. I've got a tornado debris signature that is 1 mile west northwest of Stillwell. So I think this is on the ground in Stillwell, tracking northeast. It's also rain wrapped. It's going to be very difficult to see. Hey, heads up in Dutch Mills and in Lincoln. This is you in about 30 minutes. I know it's storming now out there, but heads up because I think this one is coming right at you here from Dutch Mills and Prairie Grove. It may come right up towards US 62 here as it tracks northeast. But the radar signature, very tight here, and it also indicates the debris in the radar beam. It was really just that last scan, wasn't it, right there? So we'll see if the Weather Service upgrades this to confirm tornado. Often they will when it gets in the radar beam. And then we back down to the south. We've got that nasty line moving into Salisaw here. That thing has a lot of wind in it. There's a little bit of a kink in the line here that probably needs to be watched. This is more of a wind damage risk, and I'm not seeing the tornado threat here in Sequoyah County. I do see the tornado threat farther to the south, southwest of Poteau. That's going to be in this area. It's more, this one's actually a little bit more disorganized than it was earlier. Be great if it stayed that way. There's a 58-mile-per-hour gust measured at the Wilburton Mesonet site that's out there. So, at a minimum, you're looking at damaging winds in that storm. Going to isolate the rotation here. I think the big one that's still out there is the one near Fairfield. It may have just crossed over US 59. It is rain wrapped. It would be very difficult to see. Yeah, guys, I've got a tornado on the ground right now on Highway 59. That's just east of Marietta. It's moving towards the town of Fairfield, north of Stillwell. This will track towards Dutch Mills. This will track very close to Lincoln, assuming it holds together. This is a tornado debris signature, so there's high confidence here that a tornado is in progress just north of Stillwell that will be moving northeast into Washington County momentarily. It is rain wrapped as well, but expect this tornado warning to likely be extended. And I also think you'll see the Weather Service call this confirmed as well. They've got it moving northeast at 60. So this thing is just flying. I mean, this is a really quick moving storm here near Stillwell. And again, this one may move into Fayetteville, may move into Springdale. I know there's all kinds of sayings like Fayetteville fizzle. That's all BS. Storms don't fizzle when they hit towns. In fact, if you read the assessment report from Joplin, saying storms fizzle actually caused deaths in Joplin because of that urban legend and belief. So don't think that you're going to be immune from it if it gets close to you. There's nothing really to slow this storm down as it moves from the southwest and then towards the northeast. Now, the one thing that could mess with it is going to be additional storms that develop down to the south. These could interfere with inflow. So that's what we hope to see. That's what we saw earlier with the storm in Benton County. And when they start to interfere with that inflow, that could cut off the circulation at least temporarily. But as it stands right now, this thing is still blowing and going near Stillwell. That is tight, guys. The fact that we've got this thing wrapped in, you can see it's wrapping into the center of the rotation from the east southeast. It's also wrapping in from the northwest. This is a very tight couplet here that's moving to the east, and we're also looking at major winds damage potential here Um, that's located near Stillwell on the backside. That's the RFD. That's the rear flank downdraft that's pulling into the storm. As that pulls into the storm, it causes wind damage that can equal that of a tornado at times, much like what we had in Bentonville. Not saying this is the same thing, but it gives you an idea that we do have those storms that have a higher potential for wind damage following the tornado potential. There's another look at it here. Is it still on the ground? Yeah, it still is. It's north of Fairfield now. Um, if it's not on the ground, it's dropping debris out of the sky still, but it's right there. You can see the tornado debris signature still. It's co-located with the velocity, which makes sense. So that's a rain wrapped storm, a rain wrapped tornado, and it looks like the Weather Service did just confirm it. 7:05, a confirmed tornado was located over Adair State Park, moving northeast at 55. This is a confirmed tornado. So the radar is confirmed, and the way they say confirmed tornado is because they see the debris in the beam, like we just saw, and so they know that it's on the ground doing some damage. So this one is radar confirmed here. Sallisaw, we've got a real nasty line that's moving through. They did allow that tornado warning to expire farther south and southwest of Fort Smith. We'll see if it comes back up on us. Let's look for any rotation in it while we're at it. Yeah, there's still rotation. There's some near McCurtain right there. Ooh, that's the wrong button. Let's fix that up for you guys here. Out towards McCurtain, there's still some rotation that's in the storm here. So I think that's something that's still, that was what the part that was warned as well. It would not be surprising at all for me to see another tornado warning issued here for Keota. That one could very well include parts of Sequoia County too. This line out ahead of it could be jacking with the inflow. That may be one reason why it hasn't been extended. But that's going to be one to watch. I'm also seeing 3-inch hail. Holy smokes. Let's see if we can see that maximum estimated hail size. Sure enough, Odo, heads up. We have got a hailstorm headed for you guys. It's going to definitely come into Worcester and Podo right between 271. So 3-inch hail is closing in on baseball size. It's right in here, just north of Fanshawe. You guys in Podo, heads up on that. This is a well-defined line here near Sallisaw. I think those wind speeds are going to be very robust as this sucker moves into Fort Smith. Matter of fact, you can see some of the green colors on the backside. That's an indication of a downburst wind near Muldrow. Wind damage is going to be a high probability in the Muldrow area. Back to the north to the tornado warned storm, still seeing some very, very tight rotation near Dutch Mills. This is the strongest rotation of the day so far for our area. That's located northeast of Stillwell. I do think we get a new tornado warning, and I think it probably does include most of Washington County, possibly even Fayetteville. The current track doesn't take this one through Benton County. Another little couplet near Evansville. That's interesting to watch. Let's watch this as we animate it here. You can really see how that thing is spun up. And what I really don't like is how it looks like the storm is almost taking breath from near Dutch Mill. See how it's arcing in? That's a lot of inflow, and that's a lot of turning that's coming into that storm. So I think what happens here, Prairie Grove, big heads up for you guys, Greenland, West Fork, and Dutch Mills. Keep an eye on this one very, very closely. Tornado debris signature is still there. It's just west of Dutch Mills. It's not as pronounced as it was earlier, but there is a tornado debris signature on it, and the storm continues to ingest some very strong low level wind shear. Had a 63 mile per hour gust at Weber's Falls. Should also point out, I do think a tornado may have gone through Gore. There was a tornado debris signature north of Gore as it moved through. This is not the main line either. We're going to have more storms develop to the west later this evening. It probably doesn't end till close to about 10, 11 o'clock later on tonight. These storms are moving east, northeast. Wow. Just west of Dutch Mills. Right here is where the tornado is. So that is going to cross from the Oklahoma line into Arkansas. And again, I do think we get additional tornado warnings. So advance heads up for you on that. Siloam Springs, we've got a big storm over us right now. That thing's really blowing and going. It is not spinning at the moment, thankfully. We'll keep an eye on it, but right now that one doesn't have any rotation. It has some damaging wind potential with it. I think we can probably pull up the camera that's in Siloam Springs to see. There it is. That's looking westbound into the storm. We're right in the thick of it now. You can see the trees at the top right moving around quite a bit, but again, no tornado with that storm in Siloam Springs. The one that we're watching with the tornado risk is the one that is west southwest of Prairie Grove and near Dutch Mills, right along 59. So on the west side of Highway 59, still potentially a tornado debris signature showing up on the radar too in this area. Farther south, we've got some very strong winds coming into Sallisaw. You can see those winds. Watch them rush here right across the county. There's a wind damage risk with all of this. From Vian to Sallisaw and eventually spreading north up to Cedarville too. That's a new radar scan, so I'm curious what that looks like here. Did it decouple a little? Perhaps. I don't know. That thing is still wrapped up. That's going to be tracking to the north. Yep, there it is. So this is a new tornado warning now. This one actually does include Fayetteville. So this is a tornado warning for Fayetteville, also for Prairie Grove. It's also going to include Lincoln, Summers, Farmington, and Greenland. It includes portions of Town, the west side of Elm Springs, but generally this is only for Washington County. Looks like the Weather Service drew this to keep it out of Benton County, at least for the moment. And again, that rotation is going to be in the southwest part of the county right now. Looking at it, let's see here, right here near Dutch Mills. We can isolate it. You can see it. This is where the tornado would be occurring. It would be west of Dutch Mills, but the general track does take this essentially right up Highway 62. So it's going to come up 62 and then get into Fayetteville on the current track. Back to the south, they're going to TVS on that. Let's see here. That may be anomalous. There's nothing there that looks like it's spinning that much. If we drop back south, this is the one I've also been concerned with. I still see some very strong winds in this. The couplet is gone though compared to earlier. That was when it was really cranking up and spinning. But where we are now, I think the wind damage threat is very high here south of Bokoshi, southwest of Shady Point. Another wide view of the storm, and then we'll go street level on this. So here's another look at the thunderstorms that are making their way in. There's the new tornado warning here. You can see this storm almost taking a breath as it moves through. And we've had a lot of rotation today. It'd be tightening back up right in here. That would be just west of Lincoln. You guys in Lincoln and Prairie Grove, be ready to move to a safe place. At this time, it doesn't look like it is on the ground. Just to confirm that for you, let's do that real quick. Let's look here. Well, no, it is on the ground. It's right there. It's right on the ground near the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line, northwest of Dutch Mills. So this is a tornado on the ground. I'm going to call it here west of Lincoln by 5 miles, southwest of Summers by 4 miles, west of Prairie Grove by 10 miles. Again, this tornado is on the ground. This is a debris signature that indicates the tornado is occurring right here west of Lincoln. So this is a tornado on the ground. Now they've got this thing moving northeast at 60 miles an hour. That's flying. So what I want to do is get over to a storm track, first isolating the rotation. So this is it, guys, right on the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line. Lincoln, move to a safe place right now. This thing has had a history of producing tornadoes near Gore, Oklahoma, and we have that tornado warning in Washington County now. Lincoln is in the path of this. Move to a safe place in Lincoln, north of Dutch Mills, and get ready to move to a safe place in Prairie Grove. That's the tornado. It does show up on debris signature here of just to the west, about 5 miles west of the town of Lincoln. So it is showing up on radar. It is rain wrapped, so you wouldn't see it coming as it moves in. But a new tornado warning here for Washington County, and that does include Fayetteville as well as Prairie Grove for this storm to move to the east and northeast. Farther south, still watching this cell near Poto 2. I'm going to look at that again. I think if we do have anything come up, it's going to be in this side of the storm. Let me back this up just a little bit. To me, this looks more like a wind damage hail potential coming into Poto, more so than a tornado risk. But the hail could be pretty sizable here, um, out towards Poto, Shady Point, and Panama, as well as Bakoshi. What I'm curious though is this area right here, like right in let's see, right here where that little triangle is. These greens and reds are starting to come together a little bit more. So I would be curious to see if we do get another tornado warning on this storm. The last scan, what caught my eye is that little hook right there. So that is something to watch. Guys, this would affect Poto. This would get into Poto if this thing tornadoes. The hail is coming into Panama and Spiro regardless. Farther north, still watching a tornado warned storm. Let's see where this guy is. It's messy on radar, but we can isolate it a little bit better here. It looks like it's not on the ground anymore. It was on the last scan right here, and then it fell off. The tornado would be tracking right here to the southwest of Lincoln. Right now, it would be on the west side of Highway 59. This may be a situation where it touches down and then lifts back up. Certainly has happened today, and that could be what's happening with that storm now. That's going to be tracking east and northeast. That would put this storm right up Highway 62. So we're talking Prairie Grove. Let's go to street level mapping and look at who's affected by this right now. The strongest part of the storm here near Lincoln and Prairie Grove. I want to go over to correlation here to get the pinpoint where that debris signature was, which was right here. And I'm going to zoom in on this and say that the tornado, um, should it still be in progress, would be right along Kenny Bailey Road and Salem Springs Road. And there it is again. It's on the ground again, guys. This little blue area, this is a tornado debris signature. There's a tornado on the ground right now, northeast of Dutch Mills, southwest of Lincoln, tracking towards Lincoln. This tornado would be currently located here near, looks like Sugar Hill. It is in a rural area, but it's moving towards Sugar Hill Cutoff Road, and then it's lifting northeast up closer towards, what is this going to be? Bush Valley Road here on the south side of Lincoln. Cane Hill. Cane Hill is in the path of this storm. This is tracking north and northeast. Guys, this is a serious situation here. This is a radar confirmed tornado. You can see it clear as day on radar. Is that a donut too that we've got on there? Let's look. Right there's where the tornado would be. Let's watch that area. And then as I turn this off, let's see close to that 59 what the reflectivity looks like. Yeah, it does. See the little drop off right there? That's where the tornado is actually occurring. So it's just south of Lincoln near Clyde, and that is tracking to the east. Again, this is rain wrapped. The current track takes this along, perhaps maybe just south of 62. I do think Prairie Grove is in the path of this storm. Lincoln, you guys need to move to a safe place, and especially Cane Hill. You guys in Cane Hill need to move to a safe place now. This is a dangerous situation for Prairie Grove and for that area in central southwest Washington County for the tornado that's likely on the ground right now, tracking east and northeast. So that's going to be including Fayetteville. Farther north, we have storms in Bentonville. None of this stuff is rotating right now. It's this guy here that's the strongest that's moving northeast. And then we'll have to watch this one to the south that'll be affecting Poto and could potentially get into Fort Smith. I think we're going to get a tornado warning on this one at any point in time, really, near Poto and Panama. This thing is hooked back up. And I think that a new tornado warning probably is coming soon for both of these storms. So we have two cells to watch, one with a tornado debris signature southwest of Fayetteville, and another one southwest of the Fort Smith area. Treat this storm very seriously as it moves to Fayetteville on the west side of town near Farmington and Greenland, as well as Prairie Grove. And it's like I said earlier, the whole Fayetteville fizzle thing is BS. These storms do not fizzle when they hit towns, they hold together. Just because you haven't seen one in a long time doesn't mean you won't see one tonight. And this thing is certainly wrapped up and spinning big time here near Lincoln. I'm going to go back to velocity on this and take a look at a wide view first. I'm expecting a tornado warning at any second here for northern Floor County if that storm continues to intensify. Here's where we are with the storms moving in. Man, that thing, you can see it spinning, can't you? Watch it again, it's just southwest of Fayetteville. You've got a real tight little curl on that thing right there, just south of Lincoln. And I bet you if we look at the We look for the debris, we get more of it. We do. We've got a tornado here on the ground on Clyde. Guys, this is coming right over Cane Hill. I've been out there at the Sorghum Fest before. Man, great time in the fall to be out there. Cane Hill, all my friends out there at the old university, first university of Arkansas was actually in Cane Hill. Moved to a safe place along Jordan Creek right now, along Mockingbird Lane. This includes Highway 45. You should already be in a safe place in Clyde and Cane Hill. You need to be prepared to move to a safe place in Hubbard as well as Hog Eye. Let me loop this again. We can see how this debris has been tracking from the west to east. It's very noisy. It's difficult to see. There it is right there. May have jogged a little more to the southeast on the last scan, didn't it? It's right here. It's rain wrapped, so you wouldn't see the thing coming as it comes towards you. But as of right now, that tornado is located southeast of Lincoln. Southeast of Lincoln. Looks like this storm here in the LaFleur County area also still showing some tight rotation. Like I said, I think this thing probably gets tornado warned sooner than later. Let's just check for debris while we're at it here. This is southwest of Panama. It's noisy and there's nothing there that looks like there's anything on the ground as of right now. I do think that has tornado potential, though, coming into Fort Smith. As of right now, though, the main storm to watch continues to be this one that's coming into Fayetteville, moving towards the north and northeast. I'm going to go back to analyst. It'll give us a better picture here of what this looks like from a meteorological perspective. So, first, a wide view of the storm. These are all the storms moving in. And then we'll look closer at the storm here near Prairie Grove. We're getting that tornado vortex signature here with the meso up to about 8,000 feet. That's west of Prairie Grove, but we can isolate this a little bit better here. Let me read this Weather Service bulletin that just came through. A confirmed tornado located 4 miles west of Lincoln, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. This is a confirmed tornado, damaging tornado. Tornado warning continues in effect until 7:45. So this is a tornado on the ground in the vicinity of Lincoln and Prairie Grove. And again, pinpointing it here, looks like it's moved. Let me back up here from Lincoln north. It looks like it's right on 52. It is, guys. Okay, so there it is. That's the tornado debris signature now. So I'm seeing it just east of Lincoln. Let me go to street level mapping because I think this is going to be much better to tell the full tale here of what's going on. This tornado would be located along East Pridemore Drive and then South Weddington Blacktop Road. That's moving towards Greasy Valley Road, just north of Cane Hill Mountain. This tornado warning is headed towards East Heritage Parkway in Prairie Grove. It's also going to be moving towards Viney Grove Road, Jenkins Road, East Park Street, and East Heritage Parkway in Prairie Grove. Again, confirmed tornado from the Weather Service based on debris in the radar beam, and we certainly see it. We can still see it. It's still on the ground. I've got two little areas of debris here. It looks like on the last scan, it's along and south of Lincoln. To the southeast of Lincoln, the tornado would be located along Copeland Road right now, and that's moving right towards Highway 45. It's moving northeast at 52. There's a new scan, still on the ground, still a tornado. Greasy Valley Road getting hit right now, likely by a tornado. This is going to be tracking towards Prairie Grove. You need to be in a safe place right now in Prairie Grove. Move to the centermost portion of your home. That includes you guys right along Hog Eye Road. It includes East Heritage Parkway. It includes Mock Street. Zooming in, Phyllis Farm Road. Take shelter now in Baggett Street, South Baggett Street, Blunt Avenue. Move to shelter in Hayden James Street. Move to shelter along Mock Street, running north and south, and then along South Pittman Street, East Commercial Street. You guys are in the path of a tornado, which is on the ground, confirmed by the Weather Service, and showing up clear as day here on radar between Lincoln and between Prairie Grove. This is a strong tornado that's tracking east and northeast. It would move on its current track through Prairie Grove. It may get close to the south part of Fayetteville. It's going to get very close to Greenland as well. So I'm going to go to the reflectivity here to show you guys what it looks like. You can see this hook on it, very well pronounced hook that comes into the shot here, into the frame. Let me back these frames off just so, let's do 14 frames here just so we don't have to look through all this stuff. And you can look at the twist. You guys can see the twist right there. That's right there over Prairie Grove and Lincoln. So again, tornado warning here. Take it seriously. This is not your quick spin up tornado. This is a dangerous tornado with debris in the air and on the ground moving through north of Hog Eye near Prairie Grove and then moving towards Greenland. Again, tornado warned storm here. We also have thunderstorms that are moving into Bentonville and Bella Vista. These storms are severe, but these storms are not producing a tornado, at least as of this moment. Going back to the velocity image here, trying to get a look at it. I'm seeing it. Look at the couplet right here. That was it. That's Greasy Valley Road and Hogeye Road. Very tight pocket of rotation here as that storm tracks northeastward. I'm going to animate this again and look. This is going to be coming into the south part of Fayetteville. I think this is probably going to be real close. Let's see here. One moment. I'm trying to get a feel for you guys to see this thing. This is looking north from Fayetteville. It would cross the center part of this shot if it holds together. So we'll see what happens here and we'll check out this shot, but it's coming right towards MLK. So this would affect the University of Arkansas. UA is under a tornado warning. So to recap, we do have a confirmed tornado on Highway 62 between Prairie Grove and Lincoln. Confirmed from a radar signature that shows debris in the radar beam and from the National Weather Service office in Tulsa. This thing's hauling. It's moving northeast about 60 miles per hour. Lincoln is now on the backside of the system. Prairie Grove is in the immediate path of it. Fayetteville is next with this storm. Back over to the debris signature. It's still there. It is still on the ground and it's still tracking east. There it is. I'm showing it south of Prairie Grove, moving towards Greenland. It may, in fact, Greenland more so than Fayetteville. Let me back up a couple of frames here. Follow this blue in this area. This is the tornado. I think it hits Greenland more so than Fayetteville on its current track. Now, it could lift north, so don't hold me to this, but there is a tornado that's on the ground here south of Prairie Grove. You have a lot of strong inflow winds coming into it. You have winds turning with height. You have all the ingredients that you need for a very dangerous storm here that's moving towards Greenland. If you're in Greenland, move to a safe place now. You should already be there. It's moving northeast at 60 miles per hour, so this is a very fast moving storm. It'll move through real quick. And when you get a tornado that's moving that quick, you don't have a whole lot of time to get to that center part of the house. But I'm showing it right over Prairie Grove, just south of Prairie Grove on Highway 62. That's the debris signature here. And going back over to the radar, it looks like it's still, man, this thing is still going. I can see the hook right along Washburn Mountain. Greenland is in the direct path of this. Let's put on the tornado debris signature so you guys can see where it is. The tornado would be south of Prairie Grove. That puts this tornado moving right through, let's call it Southwest Campbell Road. If you're on Southwest Campbell Road, I-49, it's going to cross I-49 from the Greenland exit over there by the McDonald's and then moving south to about the West Fork exit, probably where the Harps is at. So kind of right in between. It's going to cheat more north, though. So I think I'd be more concerned with the north part of Greenland than West Fork. Matter of fact, West Fork's not even under a warning right now. And it's lifting north, so I don't think it gets West Fork, but it does get into Greenland based on the current track of the storm system here. You may hear some lightning and thunder here as well. I'm in the Rogers area, and we've got a severe storm that's moving overhead too in Rogers. Um, there's no rotation in this, but we do have some gusty winds that are moving through Rogers as well as the Springdale area. And here we go again. This is a new tornado warning. This tornado warning, let's just get to the radar before we get to anything else here. So this tornado warning is going to be for Fayetteville, for Elkins, for West Fork. Looks like another area of rotation that's picked up here. Actually, it's the same one. That's the one near Greenland. Boy, that thing is really going. Take shelter in this area now. If you're in Greenland, that tornado is moving through as we speak. Through time, I think this tornado gets into southeast Fayetteville, also Elkins. Again, tornado warning here right over Greenland. I'm wondering if we can pull back up the debris signature on this and see. Yeah, here it is near Prairie Grove. Wait for the next scan. Let's see where it is. But I think it crosses over Greenland and then gets into the south part of Fayetteville here, really any moment. There's a new scan, a new sweep that just came through. I'm going to pull you up exit 58. Guys, we could see this thing. We could see this thing on the camera. Here it is. Should it hold together? For you guys in Greenland, I'm showing the tornado that's going to be coming across. Uh, again, Southwest Campbell Road is right in the path of this thing. North Campbell, I'm showing it over Greenland right now with tornado debris. Let's watch this camera. Let's see what happens here. Just to show you what I'm looking at. The blue is right over the camera. That's tornado debris. And that's a look at it right here. We are looking northbound from the Greenland exit. The tornado is just behind the camera here. Good grief. What a storm. That's over West Napier, West Fork. Um, I mentioned Campbell Road earlier. North Main Street on 71. Moved to a safe place in this area too. Go back to radar. Let's do this one. This is the tornado, front and center, right here, right over Greenland. Greenland getting hit with the tornado right now, along and south of Greenland. The exit is right here, so the debris is showing up here on the radar. One moment here. Just trying to get a southbound shot to show you guys this storm. I'm going to go back to Greenland and let's just sit on this one for the time being. Um, the tornado would be on the right side of the screen right now. Next up for this is Will Ruffy Road, South School Avenue, Dead Horse Mountain Road, South Armstrong Avenue. You guys are all in the path of this tornado, which is on the ground. Let's go to Analyst here. Back over on Analyst. You can see it here moving over Greenland, moving to the east. Boy, this thing is wrapped up, guys. Take this one seriously. South Fayetteville, Greenland, east of Greenland. I'm looking at the camera on and off. I'm seeing flashes. They're likely power flashes that are taking place. I know there's lightning that's out there as well, but there's likely power flashes too that are ongoing here. See them right there out in the distance? This tornado is on the ground. Do we have it coming across the screen yet? Again, that's another look at it right here. It's wrapped up South Fayetteville, tracking north, northeast. Watching it live come through Greenland now. Look at that camera go. Another quick shot at radar. I'll go back and forth while we watch this tornado cross the interstate. Here it is. Here it is on camera. It is rain wrapped. It would be very difficult to see. I would certainly not want to be driving out in this thing. I still have a tornado debris signature along and northeast of Greenland. Here it is. That's the tornado debris. And I believe we're looking likely right at either the tornadic circulation or the rear flank downdraft wrapping into the back side of this storm over Greenland. Again, tornado warned storm over Greenland, South Fayetteville. You're likely looking at very close to where the tornado is actually underway and in progress right now. Near zero visibility on the storm. The tornado is rain wrapped. You can see the triangle here showing it on the east side of Greenland. You can also see the debris signature is still there. A lot of times these storms will also throw that debris out ahead of the storm, depending on how the atmosphere is tilted aloft. So the debris signature may not be exact with the ground, which is why I keep going back to this camera. I'm thinking the debris signature may be a little east. It did move east though, so now we're in RFD just based on the debris signature now moving more towards the east. But a tornado likely did just cross I-49 near Greenland and continues to track towards the north. That's all wraparound now that's coming in. All right, so I'm gonna jump off this camera and let's go back to street level and let's find out who's next for this storm. So backing out again, tornado on the ground, crossed I-49 near Greenland, currently moving east towards 57. Next in the path for this is Dead Horse Mountain Road, Strain, Harris, Baldwin, Highway 16 too. I'm gonna loop this just real briefly, and you guys can follow the tornado debris. See it lifting northeast? It's right there. That's the tornado path. That blue area you see is tornado debris. So I think Baldwin is next with this. Remember, it's moving about 60 miles an hour. It's not slow. You don't have much time, but if you live in Baldwin along Highway 16, that's East Huntsville Road. That's out towards Lake Sequoia. Move to a safe place here. Move to a safe place along East Wyman Road, on Fisher Road, anywhere in the community of Wyman, and then heads up in Goshen and Mayfield, as well as Crossroads. These are all on the path of this tornado. A tornado warning here continues from Fayetteville to the east, northeast. They just swung the camera around. RDOT trying to get a look at it there. And it looks like we've got yeah, we do, don't we? We're focusing on that one, and we've got one back down to the south. So this tornado warning is going to be for the Fort Smith area. So we've been watching that storm. Meanwhile, we've got a whole nother one back down to the south. So let's get off this one real quickly and then look at here, hang on, let's go to a wide view first. There we go. So we've got this tornado warned storm here that is moving close to Fort Smith now. So this one, this tornado warning here is going to go for, they've got this one until 7:45 for this tornado warned storm, a severe thunderstorm warning, sorry. The tornado warning here for this goes until came out just about less than 10 minutes ago. It's going to go till 8. So 8 o'clock for this tornado warned storm here. So let's look at this and find out where this is going and who's in the path of this storm. So yeah, we have another one, another tornado warned storm. So there's two now. Let's see if the one in Fort Smith is on the ground, the one west southwest of Fort Smith. And again, this was that one that we thought we'd see start to pick up in intensity. I'm going to go back to correlation coefficient and check this one out. That could be a debris signature near Spiro. Let's look at velocity first. No, I'm selling the strongest here near Pensacola. This is southwest of Pensacola near Highway 12. Do we have any debris on this one? No. Second here. Let's animate this and see how this looks. One second here. I have family in Pensacola, and they just got a take shelter text. So, man, this is a nasty storm. This is coming into Pensacola. This is the storm here to the west southwest. You guys here near Pensacola need to move to a safe place now. This is a tornadic storm as well. This one, at least as of right now, man, I don't know. We'll have to see how it looks on the next frame to see if this is on the ground. But we've got two storms here. I'm going to set one radar source here on the Fayetteville storm, and I'm going to put it on the debris just so we can toggle back and forth here. So we know we have a tornado on the ground in southeast Fayetteville between Elkins. And then I'm going to go back over to the other source here and then look at the tornado that is developing farther to the south, out towards Pensacola. This one looks less organized. Let me look again. This one looks less organized than the one to the north. The winds are wild. I mean, we've got some extremely strong winds coming into Pensacola and southwest Fort Smith right now. If you're in Fort Smith on the south side of town, including Barling, anywhere out there towards the Golden Living Building, move to a safe place. You're in the path of this one right now. This is moving northeast. It is not on the ground on radar as of right now, and the radar beam is really close to it, but it is on the ground farther to the north. So we still have the one to the north that we're watching southeast of Fayetteville, a tornado warned storm between Elkins and Fayetteville, which is on the ground, and another tornado warned storm moving into Pensacola right now. That's tracking towards the south part of Fort Smith. So we've got two tornado warned storms that are out there. Both have the potential to put down a tornado really at any given point in time. I'm going to go to a camera here. Let's animate this so you guys can see how this is tracking into the Fort Smith area. Boy, I don't like the look of that at all. I think that it's showing some intensification, and I also think just based on the way it looks that we're going to be able to we're probably going to be dealing with um, an uptick in the storm here shortly, just because it doesn't have anything out ahead of it to the east. This is what it looks like looking out towards the Oklahoma state line. This is out by the casino looking west out towards Arcoma. This tornado would come very close to this camera. So the RDOT camera is getting a lot of action with this stuff today. Again, that's the storm here moving north and northeastward towards the Fort Smith area out towards Pensacola. Toggling back to the north, we still have a tornado on the ground too near Elkins. This is moving up towards Tuttle. It's over Harris right now, a tornado moving towards Goshen. You guys need to take shelter in Goshen, and if you're located along Lake Sequoia Road and well, anywhere around Lake Sequoia, frankly, and Round Mountain Road, you need to move to a safe place. I'm still seeing a tornado debris signature. I don't think it gets into downtown Fayetteville or the university. It is on the ground near Baldwin and near Elkins. We have another developing tornado that is on the ground here, not on the ground, excuse me, that is developing near Pensacola. I don't see this one on the ground as of right now. But I would not play around at all with this storm. And what I think is probably going to happen is you're probably going to get it spinning up right here near Bonanza and Pensacola in between those two areas as it tracks northeast. This one's going to be coming right towards this camera, as a matter of fact. And then moving northeastward into Arcoma. So you've got Arcoma, Pensacola, Bonanza, Hackett, all under tornado warnings. This one will lift more to the north with time. You can see how it's been lifting north. Again, South Fort Smith under the gun with this one for the stronger part of the storm here. The camera is located right on the state line, right there. So you're basically looking into that storm. You have this one underway. And then if we back out, you still have the one to the north that's in progress. Still a dangerous tornado here. Since that one is on the ground and is confirmed, I want to jump back to that real quick before we go back to the other one. Let's look at reflectivity. Man, this is headed right for Goshen. You guys in Goshen, don't play around. You need to already be in your safe spot on 45. That's Fire Tower Road. That's Tuttle Road. That's East Bowen Boulevard. This tornado is moving up towards Mayfield, Hinesville, Fayetteville. I know it's really loud right now, but the tornado threat is east of you. I'm seeing the debris signature to your east. And if I look at it here with velocity, I can see it right south of Goshen. So we've got a tornado on the ground in Goshen tracking towards Berryville and Eureka Springs. If you're in this area, you've got to take shelter now. Don't play around with this storm. Let me get a wide view here just because we've got so much going on. I don't see anything else. So I'll go back in on this storm here, and then I'll go back to the debris and find out where the tornado is. We've still got tornado debris on radar. It looks like it's over Harris right now along North Center Street. You guys out there around Oaklawn Avenue, Greenbrier Avenue, and Cottonwood Avenue, as along with Harris Community Road. The tornado just moved through. The debris couplet's weaker here near 74 and Tuttle. Hopefully that's an indication that it may be weakening some, but it still shows tornado debris here in the radar beam that's tracking towards the north. Back to our southernmost cell. This is the one that's moving towards Fort Smith with a tornado debris, without a tornado debris signature as of right now. What I want to do though is look at the velocity on this. Got those strong winds from Bonanza to Pensacola. Anywhere in this area, you're going to be experiencing some very strong wind speeds. We also have that tornado warning to the north of this. That's going to be right in here. This one's the one that's going to come towards Arcoma. So you do have another area of rotation to watch. And that one doesn't show any tornado debris, nor does the one that's coming into Fort Smith right now. Still, I wouldn't play at all with this storm. These storms are not, these storms are rough tonight. These tornadoes, the atmosphere is really primed for tornadoes, and I think as we head into the next hour or two, we still have that tornado threat. I can show you what it looks like if we look south from 71. We may actually get a look at this little sucker too. That could be the wall cloud looking south. It's crossing over the state line, so it's closer to Bonanza now. But I don't see anything on the ground with this. You can see the storm motion's very, very quick here. That's looking south from 71. I think the tornado would be a little bit more towards the right side of that shot, not necessarily in that particular area on Highway 71 south. So perhaps a little bit more towards looking more south from Pacola and maybe 253, so to speak. I think if we look north from 271, we may have a better shot of it. Let's see here. Here we go. So this is looking north northeast. Um, this is close to where that tornado would be. It would be more towards the right side of the shot. Look at those cloud to ground strikes. Good night. So that's near Bonanza, and that's tracking. This is tracking towards the Fort Smith Doppler radar, actually. So the rotation is tracking towards the radar. Let me look at debris again. I don't see a debris couplet on either of those two cells right now. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just means it's not happening at the moment. I'm going to switch back to the north on the one that we do have a confirmed tornado on. This one's getting messier. You saw the tornado cross the interstate and then come up. It's what it may have done now. You're seeing the blues kind of scatter. That could be debris fanning out. That could be an indication that it may have lifted. Um, I don't know though. It's still blowing and going. I see it moving into Hinesville next. You guys in Hinesville, even Clifty, be prepared for this near Hinesville and also the Clifty area for this storm. I'm going to take you back south now and go into this storm. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but man, we've just got storms all over with the tornado threat here. This storm on 271, so that's going to be right in here. The tornado would be just to the, let's see, there it is. Would be to the right of this shot if there are tornado forms. And of course, right now there's no indication that there's a tornado. Although those did look like power flashes, didn't they? That didn't look like lightning. It was more purple in color. That's looking northbound from 271. Unfortunately, the storm's about to go over the cone of silence here on the radar, and we're going to lose it. It's basically headed right towards the radar site in Fort Smith. Look at this tornado here near Fort Coffee. This is the one I was concerned about moving towards Arcoma. This is on the west southwest side of Fort Smith. So we're not finished, even though we have that one cell that's there. We have another spinning storm here that will move towards the Arcoma area, and it could very well get into downtown Fort Smith should it continue to intensify and hold its current track. Going back to that 71 cam, I can't get a whole lot on here, so I'm going to go back to radar. If I see anything off camera that looks suspicious, I'll jump back on for you. But I've got this area of rotation here, and I think this probably does get a new tornado warning on it. This probably does include Arcoma as well as Fort Smith on that second one that's coming through. So we have those two cells here that are both showing strong rotation. We also have the one that's to the north that's showing strong rotation as well. I'm going to go to the other radar source and back out. So this is a wide view of the storm here, and we're going to go to just kind of a reset real quick so everybody gets a feel for what's happening. You can see the storms tracking from west to east. The orientation is also north to south. Now, that's an indication too that we could be dealing with some flash flooding down the road. Keep that in mind as this severe weather winds down, but the rain stays up tonight, that the water levels, they're going to come up as well. I'm going to move into the storm first that we know we've had a tornado with, just to give you guys a heads up in Hinesville. So here's Hinesville and here's Goshen. Looking at the debris signature, do we have any? It's messy and it's difficult to tell on velocity. It's also difficult to tell. So I think, although I'm not certain, the tornado may have lifted after it moved over Goshen. If you're in Hinesville, I would still move to a safe place and I would park my butt there until this thing moves through. These are not storms to mess around with at all. Back to the south now. We have the tornado warned storm literally over Fort Smith, the south part of Fort Smith right now, moving over Was that 271 south? I'm gonna pull up a couple cameras for you here. That's southbound on 271, going back to the radar source. And then I'm going to bring you another camera. Thankfully, RDOT's got all kinds of cameras around here that really can tell the tale for what's happening up and down 49. Um, I'd like to see what it looks like along Zero Street. Let's see here. There we go. So this is southbound from Zero Street. That's the exit. Well, you can't make out a whole lot. It is raining a lot, lots of wind and rain with this. We should get a measurement soon too from the Fort Smith Airport to get an idea of how strong those winds were. The tornado warning goes for Barling, Central City. The actual tornado is quite literally spinning right over the Doppler radar at the dump now in Fort Smith. So that's where this is located, right over the radar in Fort Smith. If you're familiar with where that is, you know exactly with what I'm talking about here, and that's where this thing is going. So hopefully this thing winds down a bit as it comes out the other side. But looking from northbound from Phoenix, I can still see lots of wind and rain with this, curtains of wind and rain, and very heavy rain as well as hail. Looks like a power flash there out, or at least a lightning flash somewhere off in the distance there. It's kind of difficult to tell, isn't it? Regardless, when you're dealing with a storm this strong, this source is going to be better for us. Here we go. So now it's emerged on the east side. This is where that rotation is. Boy, it's real close. It just moved right over the radar, and I'm assuming it's not on the ground because if it was, the radar might not be working. But look, there it is. I mean, it's clear as day. This is a hook. This is a couplet that is currently located near Custer, south of Custer Boulevard, on the east side of 49. That's going to be east of Chad Colley. So this is over there by where they put that um, near Barling, where the highway runs over there towards Greenwood, is where this one is. So that's where I'm watching this move east. Trying to see if I can find another shot for you guys here. Old Greenwood Road just looks terrible. Can't really make out anything. And I'm sure this is just about as loud as it gets, isn't it? So we have the radar still showing that couplet here, tight couplet. Um, let's see if we've got tornado debris. Yeah, let's see if it comes up on the next scan. It's too close to the radar beam to say for sure, but if that pops up on the next scan, that's going to have me concerned. It would be right there. Guys, I don't know. The way this looks along Roberts Boulevard, Taylor Avenue, Custer Boulevard, that's moving up towards Fort Street. So this is essentially over Barling. If you guys are in Barling or Central City, move to a safe spot. Get away from windows until this moves through. I know it's pretty gnarly here in downtown Fort Smith as well, but the tornado risk is not over downtown. It's more towards Barling and towards Central City. That's where this thing is really the strongest, at least at this point in time, as it's moving to the east. Let's look at this again and see if we have any debris. And then I'm going to go to the other radar source and we're going to check on those storms to the north again. Yeah, I don't know. That looks like it may actually be tornado debris here just south of Fort Chaffee. It would be in that little curly Q there. Let's move north again. Here's our storm coming into Hinesville. They do have a tornado warning that still continues on this one. It's still wrapped up. Let's see if we've got any debris in the beam. Doesn't look like it at the moment. It looks a lot noisier. So hopefully that one lifted. It may still be raining some twigs and branches and everything else from that storm. But it doesn't look like, at least right now, that it's as intense as it was earlier. I'm more concerned about this one right here. Um, I'm curious to see what the next update's going to look like on this. Let's go to correlation coefficient. It's right there is where it would be. It's a bummer having it right over the radar like that because you really can't tell until it updates. Um, but I can tell you though that even though it's raining cats and dogs and something else out over Fort Smith right now, the tornado threat is really for Barling. If you're in Barling, you need to move to a safe spot immediately. You should already be there. This is especially true out there towards the RDOT headquarters there, right where 49 and 22 meet, where you get on the head north on 59, cross over the bridge out towards Lock and Dam. That's where this thing is. There's a new scan, so this should tell us a little bit more. It looks like it's moving more east northeast. It would split the distance between Barling and Central City. Let's see here. Yeah, guys, I think this may be on the ground here. It's noisy. It's not as defined as what we saw earlier, but it's because it's so darn close to the radar beam. The problem is it just matches up really, really well on velocity. So I think that we could have something in progress here. Um, one more time on this loop. It would have moved through Roberts and Custer. Right now, it would be located. Um, let's see here. Trying to get some streets to populate. I don't see any. It's basically south of Highway 22 coming up towards Central City. So if there is a tornado that's happening, Central City's in the crosshairs for it now. Barling already under the immediate threat of it, and looks like a new. Yeah, there it is. I think another one just came down. This is a new tornado warning. This one just got issued here. This is going to include Mulberry. Let's see if I can pull this up so you guys can see a wide view of this whole thing here. Let's see. One moment here. I'm going to try to get. I want to get a whole big picture of this whole thing here. There we go. All right, so this is a wide view of the storm. So the one that's tornado warned is the one that just came over the Fort Smith radar site and is moving towards Lavaca. Lavaca is in the path of it. Central City is in the path of it. Take shelter, Central City. Take shelter in Lavaca as well. I'm going to see if they've confirmed this. They've got it observed, so someone's actually seen this thing. So we have a confirmed tornado on the ground near Barling, moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. So that was tornado debris that we did just see on radar just a moment ago. It's very dark, very rainy out towards Fort Smith. The heavy wind is on the backside of this system, and the wind damage can provide just as much of a threat as the tornado as well. So I'm going to go back here and let's talk about this tornado and where this one is going. Man, what a busy afternoon and evening it's turned into. Time now coming up on 8 o'clock. We have tornado warning stretching from just east of Springdale near the Huntsville-Hinesville area, and we have a tornado warned storm in the greater Fort Smith area just over Central City. The Weather Service has it as observed, which tells me that there's a storm spotter or somebody out there that saw it. This blue color is debris that's showing up on the radar beam, and on velocity, I can see it clear as day when I load it here, right there near Central City. So the tornado would be south of Central City on, let's see here. I'm sure I can't get these streets to populate. Um, South of 22 on West Central. That's going to do it. Central City, and then coming up to West Main, and then getting into Lavaca. You guys near Lavaca, heads up on this thing. This thing is still spinning. Analysts may even show it a little better. Let's see. One moment while I calibrate this. Okay, so here we are. So here's our tornado just south of Central City. I think it's moving over Central City at the moment, actually. Yeah, this would be tornado debris near the Central City area, lifting north. This is all debris here. The tornado would be on the leading edge. You guys in Lavaca, especially the east side of Lavaca, sorry, west side. Let me loop this. Follow it with me. Can you see the little hook? There it came off the radar site. I think it gets real close to Lavaca, if not right over Lavaca, in about the next 5 to 10 minutes. It's flying. These things have been moving northeast at about 60 the whole time. Now, the radar signature is not as pronounced as it was in northwest Arkansas with that storm. Um, but still, Lavaca moving northeast. This is a tornado warned storm here. 1 inch hail reported out towards Picola. We also have heavy wind and rain. I know I haven't been covering the severe thunderstorms as much as I've been covering the tornadoes here, but I wanted to stick with the tornado warned storms just because those two are the most dangerous at the moment. We've got those two. We have the one east of Fayetteville. We also have one southeast of the Fort Smith area. For the time being, we may be a little bit in the clear in Rogers. We're starting to wind down in Fayetteville. We may get another push of storms later tonight, but the intensity should not be as high as what we're experiencing right now with this line of storms. So again, just to reiterate here, let me check the debris on this. I'm seeing it near Central City. You guys out towards Lavaca, go ahead and move to your safe spot if you're not already there. Still showing some strong rotation here out towards Central City and Lavaca. I think this goes, man, this is going to come right towards Lavaca, unfortunately. Um, it's going to move up towards West Main Street. 96, you take coming right off of 22, it takes you into Lavaca. It's coming right up 96. So that's Misty Lane, that's Luxury Lane, that's Barbara Lane. You guys that are out there along West Main Street and 255 in Lavaca and 253, move to your safe spot. Thankfully, once it gets a little farther north, it's going to get in the river bottoms where it's not quite as populated as it is now. But as it stands now, there is a possibility of a tornado happening at the moment right here over Lavaca. Radar's still noisy on it. Let's look at it again. Let's watch it. Did it gust out a little? It may have. I bet we'll find tornado damage and confirmed tornado debris at Chaffee Crossing, probably right there around Custer. It's out there by what, Stone Mill? That area? Based on that, well, let's watch it a few more scans. It might be cycling. There's an interesting pixel right there, too, that's kind of caught my eye. No, the tornado would be located more towards the north part of this. Lavaca is in the immediate path of it right now. After that, perhaps Mulberry and Ozark, depending on whether or not this thing holds together or not. It may or may not. Um, Elsewhere, I mean, it's just raining like crazy. It's raining from Alma out through Mulberry. Heavy showers and storms still underway in this area here. I can take you westbound. You can hardly see anything out the way station out there towards Alma. It's pretty much just a whiteout right now with those heavy showers and storms. Let's see. Still showing it. There it is on 96. So it's just like we were talking about coming up East Lavaca Road. Here's East Main. You guys in Lavaca along West Fayetteville, East Houston, West Columbus, and South Division Street in Lavaca need to be sheltering in place until this moves through. With time, that includes the town of Beverly. It comes up 96. Here's the Arkansas River. So we're looking at it here along 96 and then up towards Union Road after it moves through Lavaca. Behind this, we've got a lot of wind as well that's coming in. So heavy wind and rain on the backside of this system, in addition to that tornado threat. Farther north, we still have tornado warned storms near Huntsville and Hinesville. These are moving to the north and northeast. Those are also tracking towards Berryville. This is the new scan, so we'll get an idea of this. This one's come down, thankfully. And then let's follow the scan. There's the new scan through Lavaca. Still the appendage here. It's really noisy. The closer you get to the radar site, the harder it is to see some of these storms as far as the debris goes. Because remember, it's sampling debris in the thunderstorm in the column of air, and the radar beam is not very high at all. Sorry, let me go back to this one here. The radar beam's not high at all out over Lavaca. Matter of fact, its beam height here is, I mean, it's only 620 feet, so the beam's pretty low to the ground. If a tornado were to tear something up and throw it up in the air, you need to get it a little bit higher up for the radar beam to sample it. It's not really sampling too much that close to the ground. Although we did see it, didn't we, earlier? Let's check it again. This could be tornado debris, but it's a little bit questionable. At a minimum, I think you're getting wind damage, though. That dark blue color is indicative of some very strong winds that punched through. I think that tornado emerged here on the other side, on the east side of the Doppler. It did look like it gusted out, though. Notice the blue colors, how they started trending down. It crossed over the Doppler radar and then weakened some. Still a very high damaging wind potential. I think we still have tornado potential here, too. But it doesn't appear to be quite as high as it was earlier. Let's see here. It would be right there. And depending on where the maps plot these things too, it's easier to see on this one just because we can really zoom in and get street level on it. It would be moving over 96 right now up towards the community of Beverly and then Vesta as a tornado warned storm. Tornado warning on this storm is going to go for, let's see what they've got. They've got it back to radar indicated, so it's no longer observed. 8:30, that means it may have lifted. Moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. It's over Lavaca. It's got quarter size hail with it. Until 8:30, this tornado warning is going to go. These things are moving really quick. Let's see what this scan does here. Still shows it right over Lavaca, right here. Lavaca and Bloomer may have jogged a little more east, huh? Let's see. Yeah, it's much more disorganized now compared to what it was doing earlier. Still spinning, still a high wind damage risk, still a hail risk, but the tornado threat has come down somewhat right here. Still a severe thunderstorm warning with it. So having said that, let's zoom out. Let's just kind of reset this whole thing. Man, there's a lot going on, isn't there? Here's an animated loop here. This takes us from about 7:45 to right now. So perhaps about the last 20 minutes or so, you can kind of see how these things are tracking. You had that one cell that moved south of Fayetteville, and then you have another one southeast of Fort Smith. Both are lifting north. These are going to be tracking across the river valley and then lifting northeast. I don't know on the general track if this one gets into Clarksville. I mean, we'll get the storms, but I'm not sure if we get that tornado warned cell in there. While we're at it, let's just go ahead and look back to the southwest and see if we got any other shenanigans going on out here. We do. Some stuff around Tallahena that's going to need to be watched. The couplet here is much weaker. It's on the east side of Lavaca now, moving towards Ursula and Beverly and Vesta. I imagine we're probably looking at a pretty big lowering, a lot of heavy wind and rain, but I don't think the tornado threat is quite as high. And you know why? It's taken on more of a bow shape, hasn't it? More of a bow, so it's more spin up. You're getting a lot more forward motion in the storm as opposed to that circular motion. Let's see here. Lavaca, Mulberry, Ozark, all in the path of this one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and loop this just to give you an idea of how this is playing out. And then I'm going to go over here real quick. I haven't been able to read your comments that you've been posting. You can see sirens in Berryville, lost power in Mountainburg. I'll have to go back through and read some of these. If you do have any damage, though, you can post it on my page, and I'll share it with the weather service as well. Meantime, is that a new one? I think we do have got a new severe thunderstorm warning. They went ahead and issued on this. This is the storm that's coming into Fort Smith right now from the west. So you can see the little orange polygon that they've drawn here. So a new severe thunderstorm warning here for Poto. It's also going to include Charleston and Greenwood. We're getting hit pretty hard in Greenwood right now. Those storms will continue to track east out towards Charleston as a severe storm with wind damage as the main risk. Still have that tornado warn storm, although the velocity has come down a lot on it compared to what it was earlier. You guys can see it here. Watch it emerge off the radar. See it right here? So the velocity's down. Love to see that, which is an indication the tornado threat may be coming down. Did come down on this, and I'm not seeing any debris on it either right now. So we likely did have a touchdown here near Chaffee. We also had a pretty long track tornado that moved across North Washington County. That couplet's still there too over Huntsville. Let's see if there's any debris in that thing. There may be. I mean, it's difficult to tell. It's kind of on that radial from the radar. So, um, man, talk about a punch though. Look at that bow echo right here. You're talking some very strong wind speeds coming into Highway 21 out towards Purdy and Kingston, and then out towards Marble as well. So you can follow those storms back to the south. We're getting hit pretty hard in Alma. I'm going to take a look at you guys out towards Dean Springs and Alma, Dyer. Heavy showers and storms here. Not seeing anything along Column Lane West or Maple Shade that indicates any tornadoes, although the wind damage risk is still there. Tornado threat is still here. The warning goes until 8:30. We'll see if they decide to reissue the warning or not. I don't think they will based on what I'm seeing right now. But you know how these things go. I mean, they can flare up real quick. And remember, this cell started in McAllister before it started moving in, and so it was a strong cell early on, and the meso just kept going. And so we've still been dealing with this over and over with these two different cells. Now, I don't see anything else that's moving in immediately behind this. So that is some good news for us. And hopefully, we don't have to deal with anything else in the way of rotating storms tonight. This line down to the south does concern me a little bit. I think this air is pretty much untouched. So when these storms get into it, they're going to have a little bit more juice to work with. The atmosphere is getting pretty worked over in Fort Smith as well as in Fayetteville. So it's going to be a bit tougher to get stuff going on here compared to what we just had move through earlier. See if I can find the rotation again on this. Love seeing it trend down. There's still some in it though. It's north of Charleston, Lavaca. It may have jogged a little more east, but it's certainly nothing like it looked earlier. Look out here. It's interesting to watch the wind patterns out west, isn't it? Right in here. It's likely a lot of subsidence. That's that rear inflow jet. It's punching. You can see the reflectivity drop off here and a reflectivity drop off here. I'm talking about how the greens kind of disappear in here and they disappear in here. That's air surging into it. It's a rear inflow jet into the storm, which is just, I don't know what that sounded like on your end, but it's a lot of wind gusting out. This is indicative of not only these damaging straight line winds, but also spin up tornadoes from time to time with this. All right, I got another scan here, so I want to see what this thing's doing. Let me let it come all the way back around. You might be wondering what's happening next with all this. Let me see if I can load some of the latest model data up for you and give you a look at how this is going to play out over the next couple of hours. Um, what a wild evening, isn't it? Of course, it's May. This is the time of year we tend to get these big storms, and then as we transition out of May into June, it's usually more overnight stuff. All right, so I'm gonna go over to the model data and see if I can pull it up. There it is. So here's where we are, right? So we had these storms that move through. This line tracks east. This is going through about 9 and 10 o'clock. See this other stuff that develops behind it? This comes through at about 1 or 2 in the morning right here. This does have a severe risk with it, but I don't think it's nearly as high as this. So there's going to be a risk of some hail, perhaps even some gusty winds. I think the tornado threat comes down with it. But this is overnight, so there are more storms headed our way. So here's where we are now. Another round of storms late tonight, and then we should start to see some clearing skies. It actually looks kind of cool as we head into the rest of the week. Temperature should come down quite a bit for us on Tuesday. Compared to what we've been seeing. I want to see if I can pull that up for you real quick. You've got temperatures in the 60s. This is Tuesday at about noon, and temperatures 67. I mean, it's going to feel pretty doggone cool by the time this whole thing moves through. Let's see. Back on radar here. Did that catch your eye? It certainly caught mine. Yep, right there. That's still that mezzo. Let's see if we got anything. Uh-oh. Let's see. Guys, I'm not sure if this thing is coming back up or not. It'd be right there. It'd be north of Charleston. Looks like Barling had some hail reports about quarter size, a little bit less than quarter size for some of us. Tornado warning goes for 15 more minutes. Based on this last scan, though, we'll see. It's really disconnected from the main storm, though. It's which kind of leads me to think it's going to struggle. Back up a little bit. Thing is, though, I mean, look back here. It's part of the same mesocyclone that's moving through, so it's part of the same spin that moved through Lavaca. It's still there, right there. And see how noisy it is? It's difficult to make heads and tails out of it. I wouldn't say with a lot of confidence that it's on the ground. Like, I don't think it is, but I don't know if it isn't either, just by looking at the radar. Till we get a better radar signature on that. Looks like another update on this radar in about 8 seconds or so. So let's see what this looks like. And we'll look at another scan here. for this. Updated on some of the skits. That's a 1 inch hail being reported near Dyer. Well, 1 inch hail radar indicated near Dyer. Let's go back to this wide view here. So this is that line of storms. I'm sorry, guys. You can't see what I'm doing. There you go. This is the line of storms that's moving in. Again, that's going to be tracking right across Fort Smith, eventually into Clarksville and Russellville. Additional thunderstorms are going to keep training into Fort Smith. And this is why I think, I mean, let's be real, Towson and Wheeler flood all the time anyway. But when you get stuff like this that moves through, this is going to cause flash flooding, exacerbate it. We are under a flash flood warning. That flash flood warning, what the Weather Service bulletin on this say, it's they've got 1 to 2 inches of rain's already fallen, additional 1 to 2 inches possible. So you're looking at another 2 inches on top of what we already have in that area. The tornado warning here is still underway. It expires in 14 minutes. Velocity, hey, I've still got a couplet on it. You guys can see it. It's right here on 217. It's not really that pronounced, but I wouldn't be surprised if a quick tornado fell out of it. It would be right along 60 and 217. I know this is getting into river bottoms, but there's Vesta. So you're southeast of Vesta and west of Peter Pender. That's north of Charleston. Strong winds elsewhere. As of right now, that storm and the one to the north are the only two tornado warned storms in western Arkansas right now. It does look like this one's going to go north of Branch, northwest of the Coxville area, and then right along 96 as it trends and tracks northeastward. All right, so let's just kind of reset this whole thing. I know I've been talking here for what? Goodness, about an hour and a half. Thanks for sticking with me. I got a little hairy there. Will be interesting to see. I'll be watching my good friend Scott Covert over on Channel 5 to see their coverage later on this evening. I know they've got their crews out looking for stuff. Bentonville, Bella Vista, looks like we've got light to moderate rain. The severe weather threat for now is winding down. It is going to kick back up later tonight. You saw it about 2 or 3 in the morning. We still have storms around Green Forest, Huntsville, and Hinesville, not posing a threat for any tornadoes at the moment in this area. While I'm zoomed in, I want to look right along the leading edge just real quick. I'm looking for any reds on here. I don't see any, so I don't see any spin up tornadoes out towards Ponca or anything like that. You get into these nasty storms from Mountainburg and Chester east, southeast, and then over towards Mulberry. Still dealing with some heavy rain and even some hail near Dyer and Mulberry. I'm sure it's about as loud as I'll get out through here. As far as the velocity goes on this, well, there's a couple of returns there. Let's see here. Go back to it. I think this is more of a damaging wind risk near Mulberry as well as Dyer. And then moving south into Charleston, Lavaca, we also have that potential for some gusty winds there on the back side of the storm. But we still have that tornado risk that's here. Looks like near Vesta and out towards Peter Pender. I would put it right here, right in this area, is where I think that it would be. Where the highest likelihood of a tornado occurring would be, again, just north of Charleston. Now, as the storms move east, we should start to see some kind of a weakening trend. If you look at the SPC risk area, as you get closer to Russellville and then Conway, the risk isn't as high. We're really in that high zone right now. And then as the storms move off of this and move farther east, they should start to trend down a little bit. Yeah, what a wild evening, huh? All these thunderstorms that are moving through. Back over to the radar here and looking at it a little closer, I still think you could get a brief spin up here out towards Peter Pender, southwest of Vesta. So the streets affected by this are, looks like this would be located along North Grand Prairie Road and then farther north, well, North Grand Prairie Road. It runs north, surprise. And then also Peter Pender Lane. That's just southwest of Meg. Here's Etna out to the east. You guys might remember back in 2011, we had that big storm that came through Etna and Altus and Denning. This is nothing like that, thank goodness. But still have that rotation on it and still have a decent couplet on the storm. Like, I wonder if the velocity images match up with any of this correlation coefficient real quick. Let me go to the end. I'm going to recalibrate this briefly. I'm going to look in here at the rotation, which would be right here. Move that red dot a little bit, right there. And then let's look here. That might be right here, actually. So I don't know. When you get a gust like this, you get these anomalous readings, which are just bogus, and it's hard to tell if it's on the ground or not. I don't think that it is based on what I'm seeing, but I don't know that I could rule it out either. Um, the little blue pixel that's been consistent on radar tells me there's still some kind of mid-level spin that's going on here. So it's still a possibility. Little teeny thing, right? So Lavaca pretty much in the clear from the tornado. Um, Same with Charleston. I think the next places we've got to watch for the tornado risk are going to be out towards Cecil, Ozark, and we'll see what happens with it. Hopefully, that weakening trend continues. And should the weakening trend continue, it's going to be a lot better for us. We should be starting to wind down as far as the tornado risk goes and transition into an overnight where we've got some stronger storms that move through in the middle of the night, but hopefully aren't as powerful as what we've just seen move through the area. Again, that's the storm right there. Guys, I don't know. That thing that did flare back up, didn't it? Hmm. Didn't flare up enough for the Weather Service to issue a new warning. They went ahead and canceled it. So no tornado warning anymore on that storm. It's weak. I mean, it's not that strong. There are tornado warnings underway here still out towards Harrison and Berryville. We also have additional severe thunderstorm warnings. So now that most of our area is in the clear from tornado warnings, I want to zoom in on some of these locations being affected by heavy wind and rain. This is out towards Winslow and Mount Gaylor and Winfrey, Maddox Springs, Mountainburg, Piney, Graphic. It looks like Mulberry is really getting hit with some of the hardest right now. The hardest is southwest of town along West 6th Street. And it looks like we've also got that going along Boost Road and North Gentown Road in Mulberry, and it's really coming down here. And you have additional storms too coming into Charleston and Lavaca. This is what's going to cause that flash flooding. And then as we look back down to the south, we're going to have to keep an eye on these guys here for any kind of development. I think there's a potential here that something could get a little bit wonky and try to start spinning up in this area in Tahlequah. I'm not sorry, in Tallahena, and then maybe make its way into central LaFleur County. There's also, it looks like a supercell trying to form way down here near Fort Towson. That's north of Idabel. That could threaten Mena with time and perhaps get into Russellville just based on the track. But the storm to storm interactions here appear to be killing this thing, which is great news for us. So that's how it stands as of right now. Man, what an active night, huh? I'm sure we'll have reports from the Weather Service on these tornadoes. They'll be out surveying the damage. I'll be watching my friends over on 5 News to get their coverage this afternoon, this evening, to see if there's any damage out there. I'll touch base with my buddy Scott too and see. I think Zach Hall's been out. Has been streaming as well. You may have been watching his stream. I'm going to check in with him. He may be out looking at some of the tornado damage. And should we have some widespread damage out there, we'll activate our Arkansas storm recovery and get some help to our communities should they need it after this storm. I'm not sure about the extent of the damage as of right now. You've been with me the entire time as we've been tracking the storms, but we did have tornado debris in the radar beam, which does indicate the presence of a tornado both in northwest Arkansas and the Fort Smith area, as well as eastern Oklahoma. So most of us were impacted in some way or another by a rotating storm moving through the area. That's going to do it for me for right now. I'm going to keep an eye on all this. I'll probably break back in and talk a little bit more about this as it moves on through. I'm going to save a little bit of speech here for me so I can talk tomorrow. But these storms are going to continue, and again, expect more around 2 in the morning. As it stands right now, no immediate tornado threat in the I-49 corridor stretching from Bella Vista to Bentonville, Rogers to Fort Smith, back down through Poto. There are a handful of severe thunderstorm warnings. They have gusty winds and also have hail in them. But the tornado threat, at least for right now, has started to trend down. I'll keep you posted. Thanks for tuning in to some Oz weather on this evening.